the Aerosmith tour is probably the heyday of the best we were playing. There's a video on YouTube of us playing in Philadelphia, Aerosmith, and we're kicking ass, just kicking ass. I was singing great. Everybody played great. For some reason, no matter all the problems, when we hit that stage, we'd come together and be the best we could. But then it wasn't. It was
Right.
nobody cared. It was just everybody was just out of their minds, and it was depressing. That's why the band broke up. I couldn't take it anymore.
I don't blame you. I think, and a band's a small business too. I mean, people forget that too. I mean, you're with them all day long, and finances and emotions and everything else. It's a lot to be. You're so invested into everything that person, everything they do affects you. So if you're
Yep.
not part of it,
And I
it's
thought it was fair. I got the record deal. It was my name. I'd been around for 6 years before they joined the band. And I thought, I'm going to make this simple. 4-way split. I make $1, you make $1, you make it up. That was my deal in Dokken for the whole. So basically I gave up 75% of my publishing, my royalties,
and it should
millions.
have worked. And it should have worked for the band. Should have been happy because a band, because that's what all bands want. The drummer wants. They all want a part of it. So
Right.
just the motivation's there. So the fact it didn't is really sad. The money you lost because it didn't even work out that way.
Mick Brown was a lucky guy. All Mick had to do was rehearse the songs, come in the studio for 5 days, cut the drum tracks, and he was off for the rainbow. And he got 25% of our $1 million advances, 25% of our $1 million publishing. I mean, Mick scored. All he had to do was play drums for a couple of weeks, and he was, see you later, see you on tour. But that was the deal I made, and breaking the chains. And so, I paid the price, I mean, but it could have been the other way around. George could have wrote all the hits. Jeff could have wrote all the hits. I don't know. It didn't. It just happened to be that I wrote most of the hits, musically and lyrically. I think they thought we were a Van Halen. Eddie wrote the music, David wrote lyrics, but that wasn't the way it was. Because I'm a guitar player. I wrote.
I didn't realize how much you wrote even in the early days, and even being a fan of the band, I didn't realize because the information wasn't always out there the same as it is nowadays. Or
You know, and everybody was interpretive, but they thought I'm the singer, George is the guitar hero. No, I wrote In My Dreams, the whole song. George had nothing to do with it. Alone Again, Lucky. I can name a dozen hits we had, but when you see the album, it's say, Don Dokken, George Lynch, Jeff Pilson, Mick Brown. I was just trying to do that to keep the peace. And then finally Under Lock and Key, which was a joke, I wrote like 8 out of 10 songs, all of it. And they're like, we don't want to say Don Dokken, Don Dokken, Don Dokken, Don Dokken. So if you look at the credits on Under Lock and Key, it says all songs written by Dokken. That's it. There was no Jeff, Mick. They didn't do that. And I think it says, and Dokken is blah, 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 because they couldn't stand the fact that my name would be on there on 8 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't matter, guys. It's a 4-way split. I can name 10 bands that I won't, that the singer takes the lion's share of the money, the publishing, the royalties, the keyboard player gets nothing, the drummer gets 10%. But we didn't do that. I know many, many bands that the lead singer takes the lion's share, but I didn't do that, so when I left the band, all the bad press about Don's greedy and he got these $2 billion deal on Geffen. He just wants the money. And I was like, I know what you guys are talking about. It's a 4-way split, So, but when you're on drugs, you see the world differently. So that's why I left. It's a solo album.